guys, I am popping in because I wanted to talk about Load 216. I wanted to talk about creativity. I'm kind of been on this creativity theme right now, and I wanted to talk about a little bit about a little whoops that happened the other day, and I thought that it would be kind of fun to share because sometimes when something goes wrong, you're like, oh no. And it's kind of related to scrapbooking on the go. So it's been something I've been doing more of lately, just taking notes so I don't forget to listen to talk about everything. Okay, so let's start with Load 216. If you don't know what Load is, it is the Layout a Day Challenge, and 216 just means that it's in February of 2016. So the Layout a Day Challenge is something started by Lane Amen, and she does this every February, and this is actually her last one. However, it's not your last chance to get on to Load, and I can tell you more about that. But what happens is that every day for a month, you get a prompt, and there's like sample pages, and she does a little video to give you the prompt, but it's quick. She wants it to be not about taking time, this is how to make a page, but instead she wants you to be having it so that it is engaging and fun. And fast, so you can get it done. And a lot of the prompts are based on telling a story. So I end up telling stories that I never expected to tell, and I'm always so excited by that. So the other day, last night, the prompt was about language, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about. I speak English, and yeah, I can speak a little bit of French, un peu français, but like not a lot. So what was I going to talk about? And then some inspiration hit. The theme this month is also based on travel, and that's why language kind of fits in there. And I thought about travel, and I have been to Wales, and my dad is actually from Wales. So I created this page, and it is kind of based off the Welsh flag, and I'll just show you quickly what the Welsh flag looks like. It is white and green with the big red dragon. So I used that to actually inspire the page, which I thought was kind of fun because if you're talking about language and then you're talking about Wales, this kind of ties it all together. And then I used red accents on the page, not a lot. So I've matted the photo, you've got the little flag on there, and then there's the big arrow on this side. But if you'll see, like, what is that arrow pointing to? So it's actually the name of a town in Wales. And like, that's not the end. No, don't miss it, because this is the rest. And yes, that is the full name of this town. And that's kind of crazy and kind of fun. But what I really like about that is that I had a strong memory attached to that, because we used to have a little pen when I was a kid, and on the pen it had the name of this town. And I loved going up to my dad and saying, Dad, what does this say? What does this say? How do you say this, Dad? Say this for me. And so he would start Llanfair and blah, blah, and you know, all the stuff in the middle. And he'd finish it, and I'd be like, wow, that's cool. Say it again. And my mom swore up and down that Dad really didn't know how to speak Welsh, and as long as he got the beginning right and he got the end right, then it was all fine, and he got us fooled. So it was kind of funny, and I had fun memories of that. And so I was able to bring this all into the layout and tell that story on there, and then talk a little bit too. So I tied it in with my dad's hometown, and he was born in Llangollen and grew up there. And so I talked a little bit about visiting his town and the things that I love and how gorgeous it is there. And actually, my cousin had just traveled, cousin from my mom's side, not my dad's side, had just traveled to Amsterdam, England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. And of the places that she visited on that trip, she said that where my dad grew up was the most beautiful place that she saw on her whole trip. So if you want to go, it's up in the northeast part of Wales. And it's gorgeous. And there is so much, it's like one little town, but the town has been there for so long, it has so much history that it makes it great. So that's that page, and I thought that it was a really creative play on it because it's not only inspired by the prompt for language, but it's inspired by the flag of Wales. And I was able to tie like the two crazy names of the towns into it, and that was kind of a fun way to create the page. And then sometimes when you're scrapbooking, things, you don't have everything in front of you. So if you're lucky, you're in your scrapbook space and you just go off and you grab your stuff and then you get it done. But what happens when it doesn't work like that? Sometimes it doesn't. So what I do instead is I scrapbook on the go. So I take a go bag, and if you wanted to see more of that, you can go to my website, scrapbookwonderland.com, and then /scrapbooking -on-the-go. I know that's not very easy, but it is wonderful. Oh, I bet you it's linked too. If you go to the About page, it'll be linked under the About page because it's totally one of my favorite pages, and I'm doing lots of scrapbooking on the go, so it makes it really good to get to. So Scrapbook Wonderland, and then just click the About Alice page. Totally makes it easy. But so I was scrapbooking on the go the other night, and I made this page, and it was also for load, and our prompt for the day was leisure. So what do you do kind of in your spare time? And I thought it'd be fun to kind of contrast my son's day and show what his day is like, because he is in competitive swimming and he's taken it pretty seriously. Like, we've adjusted his school schedule and everything. And I kind of showed a little bit of what his life is like. So he pops out of bed early in the morning, and sometimes it's really early. Like, we're up as early as 4:30 some days on mornings that he actually swims before school. And, you know, he'll be catching the bus and heading off to school. We listen to podcasts while we're driving in the car because his practices are an hour and a half from our home. So it's a lot of commitment. He spends a lot of time in the water. It's at least 2 hours a day, sometimes 4 if he has double practice. And then for his leisure time, he likes to do his video games. And, you know, with all the other stuff that he's doing, staying on top of his school and the swimming, I'm like, do your video games and have fun with it. But if you look at this page, do you notice something? It's not quite 12 by 12. I don't know if you can kind of tell from the dimensions, but it's not. It's not 12 by 12. I made the page so that it could be matted, but I didn't really have paper with me that I thought was like the perfect mat for the background. I wanted something like watery, or I didn't want to just put like blue in the background. I wanted something watery. So I actually have this paper, which is all watery, to put in the background, and I thought that was really fun. So it's going to be matted on there, so then you can kind of see the whole effect. And I think that's great. But I've got 2 fun things to show you for that. So yeah, sometimes when I love a paper, and I love this paper, it's from Little Yellow Bicycle, and it's like an older piece of paper, but I really liked it. So I actually cut a frame out of it, and you're not going to see that on there because it's totally hidden behind the layout. But I was able to save a piece so that I can know that I can make another layout using some of that paper. And also, when I create my layouts, I take pencil and I write on the back. So if I'm doing it for a challenge or something, I write down what the challenge was, and then I also list some of my supplies. And that way when I go back to it, I'm like, oh yeah, I used this paper, I used those letters, and it just kind of lets me know the supplies that I've used. So my big whoops was that there I am on the go, I've created the page, I planned to put it on the background, and I didn't have the right paper, but I just made it work by creating the page small, saying, okay, that's good for tonight, and then I come home, I throw it on the paper. It's awesome. I'll throw it on the paper right now. So that's some of the stuff. I think when you get creative and think outside the box, that's when, you know, like, don't let that, oh, I don't have the perfect paper, stop you. Find a way. Make it work. Because by telling your stories, you're sharing that piece of your life, and that's way more important than having the right paper. Okay, So I hope this was good. If you like it, you can share it with your friends so that they can come and see. I love sharing great scrapbooking tips to get you telling your stories and get you making pages that you really love. Okay, see ya.